or your team constantly to be thinking like that, one step ahead of the game, which is really great.
Yeah.
Well, it's always about the experience. In every one of our businesses, it's always about the experience. It's not so much like the product is probably secondary. The experience is everything, because you've got to make that experience memorable so that when they do want to get their hair done again, or they do want to, engage your services again, they think of 266 straight away. You know what I mean? So another interesting thing I've noticed about you, Sarah, which has really helped with your sort of progression in your role here, is you doing a lot of personal development, right? So how has personal development helped you, not only in your personal life, but your professional life as well? And what do you do for personal development?
Huge fan of this show, guys. I listen to you weekly, for one, which is really good because, as everyone may know, like you and Jade and Mark sometimes also are my mentors. So by you having this podcast, I feel really connected to it, and I'm able to relate to it a lot more because I feel like you speak to me in my language. So there's been, mentors that I might look up and I think, oh, they're really cool, but they don't speak my language, so it doesn't really register. And I just find, working with people such as yourself, like, because I start from the top. I always want to be better, so I'm not going to look at somebody to mentor me that is on the same, position as me or below me, although they can teach me new things. I don't necessarily look towards that. So I listen to this podcast obviously religiously, and then back, how many months ago was it now, when you asked me, so what do you do for personal development? How many hours of personal development do you do a day? And I was like, what did I say? I can't even remember. I was like, no, what's that? Like, is that where I take time out to eat by myself? Or like, I don't know what that is. So, and it was really interesting once you explained to me like what it was, listen to this. It became really addictive.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I can vouch for that because I experienced your addiction to personal development. We would get group messages at like 5:30 in the morning, 6:30, like, guys, look at this clip. And I'm like, go away.
It's
like,
so cool. Like, look what I found out. So, and you know what was, like, what else? I didn't know that I've been a huge fan of education. The education has always been really important to me. But back, being an apprentice and being in my old role, it was quite a low paycheck. I couldn't afford to get the education that I sometimes wanted. It just wasn't an option for me. I'd look up to these people and I looked into it and they'd charge something like $500 an hour, and I'm like, this is not an option for me. And there was options of purchasing their DVDs or their books, and I started with that, and I'm like, this is not really registering with me. I'm not into this like almost schoolwork type thing. Like, I want to be in an environment where someone's like pumped, like I'm pumped for me to learn something. So I found the mentors that pumped me up, but to be honest with you, no one pumps me up like you do, so I don't really look much else. So.
Well, the good thing, I guess, about personal development for you, Sarah, is that you've been able to apply it so freely in a business where, we've basically said, go and do your thing. And this is the problem with a lot of people with the corporate mindset. They're held back a lot of the time. Like, I know a lot of guys and girls where they can't even have personal websites because their jobs don't allow it, right?
Yeah.
And that's really, really tough for those people to push through that barrier and break the rules and just do whatever they want. So I guess we're very much about keeping up with the trends in terms of doing business and being quite open with social media and people having those personal accounts and pushing your own personal brand. And the beauty of it is that you can go out and learn all of this personal development, whether it be from Jade or myself or Mark or from a book or from a YouTube clip or a seminar, whatever it is. You can apply it straight away.
Yeah, and it's right. There'd be sometimes...
And you see the results.
Correct. But sometimes I look at things or I'm listening to things and I don't apply it straight away, or it doesn't really make sense straight away, and then you come face to face with a problem and you use it and you're like, oh my God, I forgot where I learned that from, and it flows so freely from your mouth and you're like, I solved that because I educated myself on that without even realizing.
And another thing that I've noticed in you, Sarah, in the last 2 years is that you would call me on a rare occasion with a problem, and it wasn't like I never really used to see it as a problem.
Something silly.
But as your personal development has progressed, your confidence has also increased in yourself. So you're able to deal with these little stressful problems. Sometimes you've got to deal with some pretty big problems, right? But you're able to tackle them a lot easier than you used to because you're a lot more confident in yourself.
Yeah.
What about in going off the back of that with tackling problems? That almost on a weekly basis, there's a problem here, and it's not a bad problem where it's a risk to business, but there are real problems that require a quick solution and the right solution as well. So because you have a team that depend on you every single day, so how have these adversities and setbacks helped you in your career to progress forward? Has it made you stronger as a person, as a leader?
Definitely. And a big part of that is also never being told no. I never get told no whenever I have an idea about something or whatever it is. I never get told no, don't do that. So I've always been allowed to do whatever I want and how I want it, and then, you know, even if it doesn't work, I've mentally learned from it. I've learned, okay, that didn't work, I'm not going to do that next time, and it helps me. I think that helps me more, never being told no.
That helps a lot, being able to learn from your mistakes, because when we were younger, and in the corporate world as well, you're taught not to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake or if you fail, like, shame on you, like you've done the worst thing in the world, and you must be punished, right? Like in school, if you make a mistake, you're punished, you get detention or whatever it is. But that's not really the case in entrepreneurship or running a business. You need to make mistakes, because that's the only way you learn. They're your lessons. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, a professional boxer, for example, like, he gets hurt, so he knows not to get hurt that way ever again, right? So the only way you learn is through pain. And the problem is that too many people avoid that pain because they view it as the wrong thing. That's right. They view that stress as the wrong thing.
I love stress. I'm real light. I put myself into a hole in the ground in December because I love stress that much, apparently. I like the constant busyness and I love the constant rush. To me, if you're thinking about a typical Saturday in Salon 266, it's chairs filled from door to door. It's the front waiting room, filled. And as a leader or as a regular hairstylist even, you need to almost create a puzzle in your mind. Okay, how is this going to work? It's not necessarily going off a book and going, okay, I need to start this person at this time, and it's not going to work like that. It's just not how it happens. We're not in the perfect world, unfortunately. So you have to be able to sometimes, solve problems quick on the spot. And I enjoy that so much. I enjoy that part of my job the most, being able to look at something that almost seems impossible and figure it out into a way that it works.
It's like a puzzle.
It is a puzzle.
You're trying to put all the
You're working
pieces
with
together.
time, and you're working with, people's time and people's emotions and a million and one things, and it's
you got to make money.
Yeah, you've got to make it work in order to make money, and that's so you can't be lazy.
You've got to be very proactive, and I think, the going back to the personal development side of things, that has helped you deal with those stresses, because I know a lot of people who can't handle stress. They can't handle anxiety, and the way they handle it is they hide away and they avoid it. Where in actual fact now, you have trained yourself, your body and your mind, to embrace it and tackle it head on.
Yeah.
And that's how every entrepreneur's mind, or successful entrepreneur's mind, should work every time. And that's why we're quite big on our staff and our whole team being entrepreneurial and thinking on their feet, because what happens is that you create opportunities for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so many people think that, if I go the extra mile, it's not going to get noticed, and no opportunities are going to come up for me.
Not in this space.
And no, not in this space. You get rewarded.
You
know
do.
What I mean? But this, not just this space, but this era of doing business. Yeah. If you go above and beyond, you're going to stand out from the crowd, because there are so many people who are just doing the bare minimum. They're doing the bare minimum just to get by, because they believe that if they go above and beyond, they're not going to get rewarded for it. And the beauty of it here is it's a perfect example of what's happened with Sarah. The last 2 years, 2 years ago when we hired you, you were just supposed to be a salon manager, right?
Not
you know,
even, actually.
Not
to begin
even.
with.
Not even.
Not even. I was on a trial, and I remember coming in. I was like, okay, we need a team meeting, and I think it was our first week, and I put myself. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go all in, and I put myself in a position where I thought as a manager, even though I hadn't been awarded that yet, and I was like, right, we need a team meeting. I see, little things that maybe aren't getting done the way that I'm, used to getting it done, and I think from me organising that, Jade was a bit held back, and she goes, because you took that initiative on your own, and in my head I was like, oh, I thought that was what I was supposed to do, sort of a thing,
and you embraced it really well, and you owned it, and look at where you are 2 years later. Sometimes I know I say it to you whenever I see you, that I'm proud of you every day, but it's really important that you do look back and see where you've come from and how far you've come. And also the lives that you've impacted since you've been here. Like everyone I talk to that comes here, they love you, and they love the team as well, Nikki and Brittany, they love everyone. And I know that's been a collective effort, and I want to kind of steer this towards Jade now, because Jade, you've been doing the majority of the mentoring for Sarah. You guys are very, very close, and I guess I know what it's like to mentor people under me. It's I really enjoy it. It forces me to level up. Did mentoring for you really force you to level up?
Definitely. I think it keeps you on your toes, and I think it's one thing, and I could talk to Sarah about this too. It's one thing to be developing yourself and committing yourself to personal development and having that discipline to constantly execute day in, day out. But then you've got other people relying on you as well. So you can't drop the ball. You cannot have one day off and drop the ball, because there's someone relying on you to just have that influx of knowledge all the time. So for me, I can truly say that there's nothing more rewarding than mentoring somebody, and definitely nothing more rewarding than mentoring Sarah. I've seen you grow so much in the last 2 years. I can think back now when you just said, I started 2 years ago, and I'm sitting here going, wow, I just see a completely different woman, and I actually see a woman now.
Yeah.
And a leader, and it's an uphill battle for you at the moment, because you're going through so much more change, but I think your future's so bright, and I don't want to stop mentoring you, and I don't want to stop being your leader. And I think it's the relationship that we've built up over the years has been really beautiful, and I just think that we've got so much more to go.
I think it's so good because I don't think we can outgrow each other.
Yep.
We all come from different backgrounds. So I don't think there's ever a point where I'm going to go, oh, I know everything that Jade knows. I will never. And vice versa. You won't know everything about the salon, maybe that to the degree I know. And, so I don't think we'll ever outgrow each other, which keeps it constantly, interesting and fresh and exciting.
We have our roles. I'm not here every single day. This is Sarah's,
home.
This is Sarah's home. She sleeps here
days a
every
week.
night. But I don't intend to be here every single day, and I don't want to know the intricacies of every single thing, because that's not my job. That's your job, and that's your passion. And my passion is strategy, and actually scaling something.
Yeah, scaling it from even higher. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So, but my true, my pride comes from I'm mentoring you, and I'm now watching Sarah mentor other people, which is exciting.
I can relate to. It's very rewarding.
Yeah. I have one sort of thing that I want to touch on, and I know a lot of the viewers and listeners will be interested in this topic, is that, I know for me, when I started really thinking big and doing some really big things with my personal brand and my businesses, and I really placed myself as an expert in my field, and I probably only really gone hard in the last couple of years. And what I found was that so many people dropped off, people I thought that should have supported me, close friends, even family. I've got people that just do not contact me anymore, and they haven't given me a reason, but you kind of you know why, because we're different now, right? I can see you placing yourself as an expert in your field, and really breaking away from the masses. You know what I mean? You are extraordinary, Sarah. I've considered all of us extraordinary here.